Hey guys, this is normal.
And Steph, this is Ari. She's our amazing point of contact at TTC. So she's the one who is guiding us through this journey from the TTC side. What is your official role, actually, Ari? I'm not sure if I know.
So I came on as like, I will build SOPs for you and create automation for you, like as much as possible across the board. And it's turned more into like general ops. But I'm still trying to stay really focused on structure and streamlining because they're very needed. So
yeah. So Ari is the one who's like getting us feedback when we ask questions like, what fields do you need? And, what are the states? And so like basically the document that we're reviewing today and going through, a lot of that is based on conversations that Ari and I have had, or she's had with other members of the team.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, I mean, mostly Ari is our decision maker, unless there's some like huge decision that she needs to take up the line. But, we're trying to make quick decisions here and be smart. So Steph, if there's something where you're like, oh, could we change this? It would make the design easier. Ari is the one who could say yes or absolutely not.
Okay.
So I'm just going to share my whole desktop just to make my life a little bit easier here. And so Ari, I've just kind of pulled together an agenda for us, like what I wanted to go through today. It's a lot as usual. But I wanted to show you a couple of things that Steph has pulled together. Like we've showed you them in pieces and we're going to try to pull it together a bit. And cover off a couple of questions like the public showcase, the sign up flow, like how to prompt them to pay. And so I think you've answered that question. We have not finalized the filter taxonomy yet, so that's a no.
Yeah.
So then we might put that conversation on hold. That's fine. We can talk about other things today.
There's a lot to talk about. Don't worry. There's plenty.
Yeah.
All good. And so I just want to make sure that by the end of the call, we've touched on at least everything that has to be in the MVP. So if we haven't talked about something that needs to be designed for the MVP, then, we need to make sure it's on this list, because this is basically what Steph is going to focus on doing the detailed designs for. So it's going to be like multiple, variations of different states and all that kind of stuff. So,
Cool.
So I'll kind of start with the public showcase, because I'm going to do a bit of a user flow as a way of guiding us. So if we start from the TTC website, so this is just kind of a mock-up based on what you guys currently have. You can change this content all you like up at the top. So if you don't want to keep that what's there, that's fine. But the piece that we're going to deliver is the ability to have this section. We can discuss whether or not this is a title that we send through. It might actually make more sense for that to be a title that you, this should be on the community host website, not in the embed.
Yep.
Just make that a tech comment. And then this is where the filter question comes in. So what are the things that you want to filter? So remember, this is the public version, not the member search directory. So we don't want to have too many search options here. We want to keep this quite lean, I would expect, but open to comments here. So I think currently we just have like a destinations drop down. So kind of like where they run experiences to or where they're based.
I think that's what's on the current web. Oh, actually, there's two drop downs. One is destination. So it's kind of, I think, continent based. And then the other one is categories. So like, is this a PR marketing place, or is it like a life travel coach? So we can keep those the same if that's something that you're really keen to have.
So I like the drop down being just the destinations, and I like how you have it right there right now where it's like adventure, retreats, niche, and education, because this is the customer facing view, and the other filters you're talking about we would keep on the ally to ally side. In my impression. Yeah.
Right, because it's a little bit oriented towards the travelers, not necessarily like, yes, businesses will use this as well, but if they want to know more about them, they need to become members, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so this is actually, and so that's a good question that we need to kind of map out is what, which field these values map to. So that's just an open question of like, where are we pulling those from?
Oh, right. I think we have to pull them from the profiles. Like, I don't want, let's automate this. Let's just say like, out of these 3 options, which ones do you want visible? I don't think we have a field for the ones you just
I don't
showed
think
me.
so. So I'm just going to that section of the document. Here it is, the profile. So we have country residence, type of business, specialty locations, public categories. Right, so Steph, the things that are marked as public are the things that we could show on the public profile, but not, and the things that are not marked as public, we would only show in the private profiles.
Okay.
So I think, so some of these are, our challenge here is like, we're paused on the taxonomies a little bit, right? Because I was not getting much of a response over the holidays, but
right.
I do think, oh wait, what if we just map it over on the back end rather than telling them they have to tell us what category they want visible to users? We just say, oh no, we can't do that. Never mind.
You mean like, do you mean like an admin does it, or like
no, I was thinking, oh, sorry.
Or kind of like when the company, the travel company, if they sign up, then they kind of self-nominate, and then that feeds into it automatically. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, so originally I was thinking we'll want to change some of these, whether they're public or not, based on the taxonomy feedback that we get. That's one piece. And then another piece is what I was originally thinking was like, I like the categories you have there: adventure, retreat, maybe resort, and then I think education was one. I forget what they all were, but I thought they looked good.
It's the kind of experiences, right? So we adventure, retreat,
niche, education.
I don't know if niche is the right one for. That's something
like
we
resort.
use internally. Resort,
like resort, because we have a lot of destinations, right?
Yeah.
Or
should we say resort destination?
Yeah.
And then educational.
I want it to be 5. Oh, but we have all too.
And all,
so then it would be 5 options. Okay, that's
perfect. Good. Yeah. So. Okay. Well, so then that maps. Do we like that word, kind? Kind of experiences. So this is our kind of experiences.
I like how you have it here for the customer view where we don't really identify what it is. I think when we're asking allies to identify it on the back end, I think we want to be a little bit more prescriptive and just say like, what category or what type of experience
experience type,
just because the word category is used here.
Yeah, I don't want to use category.
Type is used here. That's why I was using the word kind, just to kind of create a slightly different thing. But
well, some of those taxonomies may change. Oh, but probably type of business won't, because we'll have to, okay, so let's keep kind. But I think we want to be more prescriptive about it so that they know that this is how potential, what's the word I'm looking for? Customers can find them.
Right. And so actually in that vein, one of the things would be that it needs to be, they can select none, because if they're like a PR agency, then they shouldn't pick any because they're not offering experiences. So we should allow them to select none, so that if somebody is using this filter, this can be empty for some profiles because they may not run experiences like a PR firm, for example, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then the destinations maps to specialty locations is that what we currently call it. So I'll just use that for now. And so basically when they're filtering, they can only pick one at a time. So they look at Africa, they look at, so it's not like the full featured search capability inside the directory where you could like take a bunch of them on at the same time and filter, right? Like this is a very simplified search filter interface.
I think that's fine for the MVP, like if we end up in a place where this is, straightforwardly like bringing in this sort of revenue where we can do all sorts of cool enhancements, then, I see a world where it might be interesting to have a map, and things like that for
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun to design as well. Interactive map. Then we'll make it like 3D, like 3D on the browser. Yeah, no.
You could like dive in and see pictures. Okay, I'm getting a little.
Oh my
but
God,
anyway.
so much fun.
All right. Okay, so at some point we'll need to define which fields get searched when the customer types in a search value here. And so my thought, basically business name, specialty locations, and probably some other things, which we'll get back to. But okay, so just making sure kind of at a high level, just from a design perspective. So basically this image here is going to be the image that they enter their banner image, right?
Okay,
so,
makes sense to me.
One challenge we do have, Steph, these are square and the banner images are wide. Like, is that going to be a challenge at all? Like,
would ImageX help us like be able to get the right sizing?
Well, we can absolutely crop. Technically, not a problem, but like ImageX might crop in the middle of his head.
Yeah, I also imagine that some of the places they might choose like really beautiful images of like the horizon or like this like lake that's out there and it's crystal clear and it's like, and there's like people in the distance doing yoga on the beach of that lake.
They're like on either side of this really long image.
Yeah, like
right,
I totally imagine
exactly.
That. Okay.
Well,
what if we just shrink it up and then use the empty space for a logo? Ooh. I don't know how more complicated that is, but like if you had something where it's like you've got the you've got the banner that's a little bit shrunk, you have the logo that kind of sits over the top of the banner and the piece, and then you have the name, and then you've got all the text, and then you've got
like run the banner across the top, put the logo here, put the title there, something like so. It's like it's tiny, but that's okay because you're clicking to view the profile anyway.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a play, particularly like if we want to show off the logo, like the company's logo in here, because like logos can have a lot of variety in them.
Yeah.
So like I'll have to play with it to see like what kind of way could I allow for them to do this stuff, but it'll still look good.
Well, and if it looks, I mean, if you're playing with this and it's taking a lot of time, like in my mind, showcasing the logo here is not critical, right? They're going to click on the thing, they're going to see more of the logo, they're going to find out more about the thing. So like to me, showcasing the logo is not essential, but if we needed to, in order to accompany the banner being a lot slimmer, if we needed to fill that space with something, an option I thought was the logo.
Okay. Yeah, so if it's like this bit here is the banner, right? I don't know if that ratio is right, but basically just taking up that much space. So we could just make it so that all the cards are just that big, and then you just move everything up, right?
Which is possible.
In that way.
What I
Yeah.
think a good idea I'll try then, because like there are quite a few people, there are quite a few allies there right now that kind of have like their pages set up. I'll just take
Mhm.
their images and their stuff and see what happens. So I can test it
Yeah.
with like real things. This is really their image. This is really what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So working without borders is a good one. The other one would be um, Global Family Travels
Mhm.
and Run Wild Retreats.
Mhm.
I don't think, Stephanie, I don't think I've given you access to either the Monday board or Slack or HubSpot. Does she need access for that to be able to like pull
You know
stuff?
what? Add her to Slack in case you want to have a conversation there. Like if Steph wants to start a conversation with you about a design idea that she's got. I think that'll be a good idea. I don't know that she needs access to HubSpot.
I don't think so either. I think most of the stuff I can grab from the public facing things anyways.
Yeah. And then anything that you do need from HubSpot, Steph, just let me know.
Mm.
I can pull that. I'll probably be better at finding it there anyway.
Yeah. I don't spend a lot of time in HubSpot. God, where are the things?
Fair. I feel like
Excellent.
90% of what I do is like, you guys, it's over here. We have it here. I made a video.
Did you watch the video? I got 5 views on it.
Loom is our favorite tool right now. Have you discovered Loom yet? Yeah.
I love Loom. I don't use it for my videos. I just flip on Zoom and hide my
Yeah.
thing, and I just do a recording and then save it.
Yeah.
But Loom is great because it's all online and it's like all in one place.
Yeah. That's how we get customers to give us feedback on like report bugs and stuff like that. Like I'm doing this and it's not working. It's like, I see what you're doing.
It's the way
Okay.
I communicate with all my devs too. Anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you
Okay.
can be really clear.
So yes, and this is how our calls go forever. So that's good feedback. Steph, I think this is always a challenge for me with our current card designs, like this hard space. So what we're doing here, and actually, Ari, this is a good question for you. Enforcing the height so it's nice and clean and all the cards are the same. Or letting it be dynamic such that, you know, they're all different sizes based on how much content is there. So the other thing is we can force them to put a minimum number of words in. So it's always like this, where there's like a dot, dot, dot. So we know like they can't complete their profile until they put this many words in or something like that.
I mean, that works for me. We don't have a whole lot of words. Like that looks like maybe 100 words here.
It's not a lot.
They're gonna need, like, for us to be able to approve a profile, it's gonna need to be clear about what it is they're doing, right? Anyway, so I feel like putting in that requirement. Like,
okay,
yeah, let's just do that.
So we will require a minimum on this summary field and expect it will always run over and have the ... ellipses. So there is no white space. Now, Braun will tell me that we cannot guarantee that, but under 99% of the cases, we will make sure that that runs over. Cool. Okay, so that's a good one. Next question. We have put the idea of 2 call to actions. This is up for debate. We could have 1 instead of 2. One would be view profile, which would take you to their profile page, the public profile page. We thought about having a connect now button, which would drive them to sign up. So this would say, welcome to TTC, you know, welcome to TTC membership. And there would be a thing here that's like, to connect with the member that you're interested in, make an account. Now, keeping in mind, that's going to prompt them to go and like get a plan. And so they probably won't convert the first time they do that, but it's kind of teaching them like, hey, if you want to connect with these people, if you want access to like details about these people, you have to make an account and you have to become a TTC ally. That was our thought. What do you think?
2 pieces here. So we talked about it being, because we're stepping away from like focusing a bunch of marketing efforts on the allyship. And one of the ways that we're kind of framing up the allyship is in this invite capacity. Like you can be invited to become an ally. And so when we're talking about the sign up page itself, I think that we need to frame that up around the invitation piece. But I don't want to. Okay, so basically I'm torn because I feel like I like the idea of the connect now that like drives them to want to join the allyship, learn more, be and be a part of this. But we've also talked about it in this invite only capacity. So I kind of want to keep the button, but I think we just need to talk about what that leads to and what that user experience is, so that it's so that the customer recognizes that this is a high value place that not just anybody can get in.
Okay. So then, like, I guess what Jen's writing is perhaps it takes them to a landing page that explains a little bit more in detail, like what's the value of being part of this community. Other techniques that some platforms use to like get people to kind of like convert into a paid plan. So in this case, it would be like the paid allyship. They allow someone to go in, like make an account quickly and then go in and kind of play with it, but you can't interact with things. So like if, for example,
so you become a paid ally.
Yeah, so it's like if for example, I can create an account and sign in and go in there, but I can't actually like connect with someone. If I try to connect with someone, it says, oh, it looks like you're not a TTC ally. Can you blah, blah, blah. And then it has like that push for them to sign up for like a paid allyship thing instead. So they can kind of like see what's happening in there, but they can't like interact so much. There's one technique that other platforms use.
I like, oh, sorry, I'm just reading Jen's note real fast.
Sorry, I was just realizing like we should keep it definitely for the people who are already allies. Like this is the way, like if they encounter the public version, it's like, oh, you want to do a connection, like you just have to log in to do it. So that might be one thing. We might just have that go to a login screen, and it's like if you don't have an account, then that's blocked, right? It's like, hey, paywall, right? And maybe that leads us to the conversation around what should be on that login screen. Actually, sorry, Zoom controls. So on this login screen, maybe this content here should actually say, do you know, if you're not already a member, log in to be able to connect with other TTC members. If you're not already a member, something like, what do you want to tell people who are not already members? And then this can be kind of the landing page. And it says to become a member, you can't just sign up, you have to something like what. And so what are we thinking that process is going to be?
I mean, honestly, I want it to be as simple as possible. I would almost even just have like interested in becoming a member. This is an invite only club. Let us know why you want to join. And then we can just on our back end have like have automated responses based on like what people send us. So either a yeah, sure, here's the link to sign up, and it, or no, sorry, you're wanting to literally spam everybody, and that's what you said in your note. And thanks, bye. I don't know that we're gonna have a lot of that, but
Yeah.
But there, you know, there's also this part of me that's like,
because the other thing would be to link this with the referral mechanisms that we've talked about, which is to say you need to request, you know, it's kind of like the speakeasies or whatever, like you can't get into the speakeasy unless someone in the speakeasy invites you, right? So if you're at the door, it's like, well, you know, you kind of need to get somebody to be like, oh yeah, I know them, come on in, right? So maybe it's sort of like saying to them here, like, hey, tell your, you know, you need, in order to make an account, you need a referral link from an existing member, contact them and they can send you that link. And so then you push off that filter to basically, like, if they don't have somebody in the community that they can just be like send an email to or send a message to get a link, then they can't create an account. But if they can, then all that person has to do in their account, in their Allyship account, is go and click on the link that says, you know, invite another member and give them their link.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that option being visible on the page. And I like aspects of it. I think I'm just, that feels like a lot of steps for someone to go through,
Yes,
and I'm not certain that
is.
somebody will go through them. You know what I mean?
No, it's a barrier. It's a total barrier.
Yeah.
So it's meant to achieve what you were talking about before, which is like keep it a sort of like invite only kind of thing. So yeah, you're definitely pushing people away and they have to be like really determined to join. So otherwise I would say, I mean, I guess my sense of this, like, you're not going to really get spammers in here who are going to pay that kind of money to right, just like click on a random page and pay it $500 for, you know, like, it strikes me that the only time somebody's going to do that, they already know what it is. They've, you know, they've already talked to somebody. So I kind of feel like the fact that you can't get in unless you pay first is the barrier that you're looking for.
And I like the idea of not adding more barriers on here. So here's my struggle, just transparently, like Ari being transparent with this. While I like the idea of proposing this as an invite only, I think it makes it more complicated, and I think it puts up barriers that we don't necessarily want to put up. So let me see, let me chat with folks and see, maybe we can reframe this a little bit, but because, yeah, I think in my mind, the simplest, if we need to stick with this is an invite only thing, then in my mind, the simplest way would then be to have like a message box that's like, oh, want to join? This is an invite only thing. Why? Let us know why you're interested, and or reach out to a TTC member that you already know and get a referral.
My suggestion is, rather than creating another process for you guys, if you're gonna put this barrier up, push it out to your community and just say, because otherwise you have to build another HubSpot process and you have to have people paying attention to it and responding to it and teach them how to interpret the results of that form and what are you going to collect. You're probably going to collect half the things you would collect if they made an account, right?
Yeah, just in the profile.
Yeah.
Let's pause on this, because I don't want to spend a lot of time when our answer might be to change the way that whether or not we're looking at this as invite only.
But okay, we can agree though that on this page, so what we should do is link that connect now button to the login screen, because we're assuming this is for members who want to connect. And then on this like right-hand panel, it's going to say, not already a member? something, something. Like there will be words here.
I think we can agree on that. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think that's actually a better user experience too than the sign up.
Yes.
I agree. Okay, so good. Then we're going to go back to here, and this is going to be, yeah. So decision, link to the login page, prompt them to become a member from there based on process. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are agreeing to calls to action then. So at least on that point, we're pretty solid on that. How many do you want to show by default? She's got currently 6 showing. Do you want to show all of them by default with, or do you want to have a button to see more? That's actually should say see more.
I want a see more button. I want, actually, rather than a see more button, if at all possible, I'd love like one of those things where it shows like the number of pages and you can click a number.
Oh, yes, pagination.
Yes, thank you. Those words.
Totally. I think I have a different version of it with pagination already.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Okay, page size for your pagination. So
like
how many? 6, 9?
Yeah. 6? Can we how do I want to do this? Can we randomize how they show up? Because the last thing I want is for every time you hit on adventure, you see the same 6 people, you know, regardless of who's joined, or like I'd love to change it up. I don't know how complicated it is to randomize that, but.
Okay, so the challenge is yes, you can randomize, but randomize mixed with pagination is complicated because otherwise, if it's random every time, then you could get the same people on different pages, right?
Good point.
Okay.
What if we do it by,
no,
I'm listening.
I was going to say, if we do a randomization that's like, I don't know, based on the day of the week or something like that. So it's like
most active, most active,
or most active, or something that changes, but it doesn't change in the moment that you're looking, but it changes over you know, a day or a week or something like that.
So like every Wednesday, the most active people will be these 6. Next Wednesday, it'll be randomized again within the most active. It'll be these 6.
I 100% love that. Because I think that's also a great thing to sell to allies for staying engaged with each other on the platform.
Ooh, okay. Sort order based on, can we just make it easy and say last login to the portal? Because that just makes my life easier. So like if they log in, even if all they do is filter and search and they don't actually like do anything else, but if they've logged in and looked at TTC directory, that counts as activity for the purposes of this, not for badge earning badges, higher bar, but just for this. So if people are really bored, they can basically just log in every day and make sure that they're always at the top of the list.
I, as a gamer, I'm not going to be like, don't game the systems.
No, we're going to game all of this.
Oh yeah. You know, Sam Keller is all over that. I know it. He's going to be the guy who's he's literally working in that borders, always going to be the upper left. Activity. Awesome. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. I'm just going to make a, actually that's a dev note. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's that piece. Let's just jump back in here, go back up to our agenda. Okay, so view profile. Let's talk about the profile. So we have our setup profile that's defined here in this document. So we're not going to go into all of that now, but Steph, this is all the information. Oh, sorry, not this section. That's the sign up here, setup profile, business name, avatar, video, banner, etc. So the question that we have is, do you want to offer them a little mini website like we have, or will it just be a single page? So, so we can do a design. So, sorry, let me just make sure this is clear. Out of the box, what we have coded already is that every user on our platform automatically gets a thing where they can set this as light or dark, this, you know, light or dark theme. They can put their logo. They have a home with a banner. They can put as much text and blah and whatever. This is all rich text here. And then if they have YouLi trips, it shows them here. And then they get an about. I click on that. And then they have a contact form, which allows somebody to send them an email. They also get terms and conditions and privacy policy, and they can link all their socials. How much of that do you want to keep? Like, do you want to have a multi-page, like little mini site? It'll be on the TTC domain, but so it won't be on their domain. If they want their own website, they'll have to pay us to host the domain. Or do you want to just like pare it down so it's just a single page? So it's basically just all the content you're collecting on this front screen. So there wouldn't be like multiple pages.
I think, man, this conversation feels familiar. I think we had talked about just having it on a single page.
Perfect. Okay, just making sure. So
Yeah.
Steph, just a single page version based off of these fields. So this is the data that they have. So this is the business blurb. This is the rich text section. A link to their website. So this won't show on the public profile. So this is private, actually. So actually, let's be careful here. Yeah, here we go. Public, 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 public. This is mixed. So, so the business blurb actually, so this is the thing. Oh no, this is it. The 2-sentence summary of the profile. So this is going to be, this might be public and Steph, do you want it to be public private or public directory? What do you think makes more sense as a way to describe this for you?
Public private, because I think I'll get confused if we say directory.
Okay. So this is, I think it's a 2 to 3 sentence. Make sure it is long enough to fill the space. This is that field, right? What are we calling this field? Summary? Business summary. Let's call that.
That works for me. I mean, I'm not the one that needs to. That makes sense to me. If it makes sense to Steph, then I'm also happy.
Yes, I think it's okay. This mustache says yes.
Excellent.
So then the question is like, how much content should they be allowed to enter here? Like right now we have no limit. They can put images, like, you know, they can put titles. Like how restricted do you want that in terms of rich text?
I think having it unrestricted is fine. I think the only thing I would wonder about is you're talking about being rich text. Does that support then embedding images? Because then that's more lift for your servers.
Yeah, let's take a look. I think, yeah, it does allow images. But I wouldn't expect people to put that many images. I mean, what are they going to do? Like 2 images?
I don't know. Like, I can imagine people being like, oh, I can show off all of my amazing things. This picture and this picture and this picture. Oh, and video.
Like, right.
Yeah, I can too.
Excluding images. Yep. Okay.
Because they also, they'll have their, Or the other thing I would think is like, if you limit it, I don't know if that's easier or harder for you to like say you could do 3 images max or whatever on the page.
Nah, that's
I'm
kind of
just,
harder.
yeah.
To
Okay.
be honest, for us, it's actually what we'd really like is for them to want to put their trips up, and then they can get as many images as they want, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
then
that'll be,
sorry,
go
we're
ahead.
like so on the same page. I like jump ahead and I forget to like pause and listen to the whole sentence. I'm so sorry about that.
It's all good.
Maybe then on in the place where the images would normally be, we can put a little like, want to showcase pictures from your trip, talk to YouLi about getting your trip set up. You know, like we can link it back to that there too, I would think.
Right. So instead of the business blurb, you know, like saying something here like, you know, want to showcase your amazing experiences. So we can do a call to action there. If they're not already members, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh, that is something that I think we've talked about this, but just make sure that we're all on the same page. I think it makes a lot of sense that if they have YouLi trips, those show up on their ally profile.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so Steph, I think you and I should talk a little bit about like the technicalities of what's different with the existing YouLi web versus the sort of community profile version. So this whole block would not show if they're not a YouLi Trips subscriber. So if they don't have an account with YouLi Trips, then this doesn't show at all. And it would just be this rich text content. And then the footer is I actually don't know that we're gonna have much of a footer. To be honest, we might have a TTC footer here, right? Because there's no navigation. And actually, I feel like the social links should actually be a bit more prominent because it is a profile page. I'm almost tempted to have them be a bit more like how I want to be contacted, kind of up at the top, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine like
that.
this page would kind of be like a combination of the home and then the about, kind of like merged together.
But without a contact form. So I think we won't include that functionality in there because it could be a source of
I think that's confusing.
Spam for them. And yeah. Okay. Great. So I agree. I think it'll be an about. So just in terms of the content we'll ask for them is like a little bit of a blurb here. I don't know. Do we need an about us? You don't have that separated out. We've got the business blurb.
I don't think we need about us separated out because we have the whole like business, like talk about your business as much as you want, and then we have the summary. I think that's all we need. This page is much more about connecting people. So like in the footer, so I'd love to have
Yep. And then the footer,
I'd love to have that be all about connecting to other allies. Like, because you're on the page for this one ally, but maybe you want to also do that. And then maybe another section that talks about connecting onto the events. So like continuing their progress, continuing their process of connecting with people. Maybe not other allies, because as I think about that, I'm like, maybe the allies will be upset if at the bottom of their page, there's like connections to other similar people. So maybe not that idea, but maybe then. You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, it's your site, not theirs, right?
True.
Or it could be so like on the side or something, because like if the side is sort of treated like a navigation stuff, they could be like you know how Facebook does it, like your friends are here. These are also your mutual friends. Kind of stuff.
That's right, because we will have all the navigation just sort of living on the side regardless, right?
Well, this is the public showcase, so there won't be navigation there because you're just looking at a website, right? You're not logged in. Although that's an interesting question if you are logged in, whether or not the profile looks differently. So I'll just take a note. If you're logged in, does this look different? I think that's a big can of worms, so let's not tackle it tonight, but I think worth considering.
One of the, so when we're talking about all of that, Can you scroll down to the section where we have the list of things after you get done making that note?
Sorry, scroll down to where?
The all the way down at the section where it talks about like here's what's in the profiles.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe, can you scroll a little bit more? I'm looking to see if social media was public or not.
I
Oh,
think
maybe
it
it's not.
was-
I
think
think
it was
it's private. I think
think it
all of the
was.
contact information is private. Because like people could always go and find that information online later if they want to,
Right.
right? But I think we were trying to keep.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So when we're
So
talking about
then-
the public profile then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so then we are saying we should show the profile differently, whether you're logged in or not. So I think that answers that question. So yeah.
Okay.
And maybe that's even what it is, which is like log in to, connect, right? Then that same call to action, connect now, which prompts you to go log in, is on the profile page, right? Again, it's sort of like, oh, you want to connect with this person, go log in. We're assuming you're a member. If you want to do that, oh, you're not a member, whatever that process is. So let's do that.
And if we have all the connection stuff, like if we have everything that's basically private pretty close to the front, then we can just, I don't know if you guys have, if you're doing it on a section basis or something like that, but then it can just be a replace of that section for the public, make it easy.
Yeah, exactly. Only public elements if not logged in, otherwise show things like contact information.
So then
social links, content. Any other notes you want captured here, Steph?
Just I have a random idea. How would you feel about because LinkedIn does this where they kind of like to get you to log in, they tease you a little bit of what the private information or the logged in version is. Do you like that idea?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Tease non-logged in users with the content that could be there if they log in. Excellent. All right. So yes, so we did say connect will drive to the login page. So we did agree on that. And yes, we so special content to encourage them to sign up if they are not members. So that's content that we need to design, and Ari, you'll get back to us on that. We will also need some content on the sign up page. So just kind of moving on to, so something to think about, Ari, like when they do get a link to sign up, when they get the invitation link, what should it say here on the right-hand side? So that's something to consider, like what's your content going to be there?
I'll have to get back to you on that, but we'll get you some copy.
And I think it's going to be like, something similar to, I think you had sort of why, and I think the word why.
Yeah, we did list out like 3 or 4 reasons. I think we listed out 3 reasons. Yeah.
So maybe something like this. Yeah. Let's do that. What are you? 5 reasons to join. Cool. Excellent. All right, and then we're not at the stage, but actually it wouldn't hurt. Do you want to start giving us like the icon, like the logo that you want us to use in various places? Like here, what would that logo be?
Yeah, so I think that should be the primary TTC logo. Let me double check, but I think
Just from the home
Did
page in
I?
the upper left, or the, yeah.
Yeah, if you, so in the YouLi transition folder, which, let me double check, but I think you'll have access to. Yes, you live to travel at gmail.com has access to it. There's
Okay,
a folder
cool.
called the TTC press kit, and that has all of our
Oh.
logos and things in there.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Let me just make sure I can get access to that.
Yeah, I feel like probably best at this stage while we're still kind of figuring out the details and stuff. If there's any particular images that you prefer to have, or if there's colors and things that you know you want to have right away, then it'll help me make the designs more realistic so that we can get to a point where like, yes, this is what we want. This is exactly what we want.
Good point. I don't think this press kit includes, let me see if it includes, it does not. So I will pull the brand colors out of Canva for you and get the hex codes.
Do you have any fonts as well that you prefer? Is that in the press kit?
I don't think it's in the press kit, but I think it is in Canva.
Okay.
Actually, I can just look it up right now because
Yeah.
it's in Canva.
So it's like basically all the things that tell me what your brand specifically is, all the TTC stuff. It'd be great to have it right now at the beginning.
Let's see. I'm going to confirm. So we have one font in here that I'm seeing. I'm going to confirm this is actually the font they want us using. Let's see. Okay. So I'll just post these into chat for you for the time being, and then I'll confirm. Here are 3 of the fonts, which is a header. Oh, it wouldn't let me do that. Okay. Save. And then we have a whole brand palette. I'll have to pull these off for you individually.
Okay.
It doesn't look like there's a way for me to just, oh wait, if I click edit palette, no, that's not what I want to do. Just kidding. Okay, yeah, I'll pull these for you individually. Once I have you in Slack, then I'll post both the fonts and I know the colors are correct. I just want to make sure the font's correct.
Okay.
I got this, yeah.
And so just a quick technicality, we're going to need to put our privacy policy here because it's our platform, but we'll link to your privacy policy as well because we're sharing the data with you. So it'll say you agree to YouLi's and Transformational Travel's privacy policy. So you wanted first name and last name, is that right? I think that's right. Change to first name.
Yes, I believe it was.
Cool. All right. One thing, just because we're kind of out of time, and like I'd love to have that badge discussion and whatnot when we have the taxonomy a little bit more finalized. So maybe on our next call. But what I would like to cover, because we haven't talked about this, and I think it's really important based on what we said about invite only. Where is the referral link gonna get picked up? So like if I'm logged in, right? Where do I want to get? All right, that's not helpful. Where should I be getting that? Like, should it be prominent all the time? Should it be something that's kind of on the left, like as a thing here that they have to kind of find? Like, how important should we make it to invite?
What is that?
Yeah.
Sorry. That upgrade button at the top, is that for people to upgrade their
Yeah, I
allyship?
think that's gonna go away actually, to be
Yeah.
honest. So Steph, I think that doesn't belong there anymore. So that's where we currently have our upgrade prompt, but I think that should only show when they're under Trip Planner. Because that's currently,
Okay.
because we allow explorers to like check out Trip Planner for free and then they click the upgrade, but I think that shouldn't appear in community. So that's a good catch.
Oh, but so that upgrade is to upgrade their YouLi
Yeah,
membership, not their
in fact,
allyship.
and we
Okay.
might move it, in fact. So that,
I'm
I
actually
mean, so
leaning to move it, but you know, just it'll go somewhere else.
so basically when they log in, they're gonna be here and they're gonna see this. They won't see the upgrade. It'll say, hello, Lauren. And actually what shows here will depend on what they have activated. So if they only have the community activated, that's gonna be the primary thing. We're still debating how to show, like this is assuming they have all the things activated, which, you know, people won't initially have. So that's like, you've activated your trip planners. You've either invited or become an affiliate. You're a traveler. So like, if you don't have any of that activated, that won't be there potentially, but we're debating whether or not to tease to get people to activate those. So, so we haven't worked that out yet, but if they log in from the community, they will come to the community, right? But it'll just know, like if they're a trip planner as well, they can just click into Trip Planner and go manage their trips.
I love that. I think that's great. And in fact, when we're talking about removing, I would not remove that upgrade button. I would just change it to refer an ally, refer a new ally. You
Okay.
know, turn
Make
that
it
into
that
a
prominent.
referral button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Refer a friend or invite. Refer, invite.
Ooh, invite a friend. Invite.
Invite a friend. Invite another. Invite a friend. Oh, invite another. Invite a member. Invite an ally. Invite ally.
I mean, so I almost want a different word than friends. I don't want member. I feel like ally makes it sound like somebody who's already an ally and we're trying to target people who aren't.
But invite to join?
Ooh, that's closer, I think. Yeah. Invite to send invitation.
Send invitation.
I actually kind of like that the most. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it is, then the question is, does that button pop up and you can grab the link or send an email from the pop-up? Is that kind of what you're thinking? I know I prefer grabbing links. I hate using the send message feature of platforms because they come from a generic platform. They might go to spam. Whereas like if I'm chatting with someone on LinkedIn, I'll be like, oh, let me get my link and I'll send it to you. Right. And then I just copy the link and put it into LinkedIn.
As long as we make it obvious that they're copying a link in that moment.
Yeah,
I think that's fine. But if it just, I prefer the copy a link feature than the managing us sending invitations through the platform.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we have this as our list? Steph has heard the discussion. As you're playing around with this, you know, have it, Steph, you can form an opinion on what you think makes sense. Okay. So replace upgrade with a button to invite others to join this community. Pop up to copy the link to share. Maybe also allow them to enter an email to send an invite directly. So we can consider whether or not we just want the copy the link or if we want the copy link, or which I've seen on platforms where it's like email them or copy link, you know, and then there's a choice that you get to make. but
And this might
definitely.
also be decided by our decision on badges too, because one of the things that we talked about being a badge was the referral, how many referrals you've got. And
Yeah.
if we just have a copy link, then like,
Well, I think you
how
shouldn't
do
earn
we-
a
No
badge until
referral.
they sign up. I think like just because you sent an invitation, you shouldn't get credit unless that person signs up, right?
I agree, but how do we track that if it's a copied link, how do we track that the person who the link was sent to was the same person who signed up? How do we connect the dots?
Oh, these links will be specific to the user who signed up. So this will be a link that is, you know, WWB. So Working Without Borders will have their
Oh,
own link,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why you have to have this special button, because it's not a global link. It's like it is Sam Keller's link. And when people click on it and they sign up, he gets credit that they've signed up.
I'm down for both. And ultimately, like, whatever is easier for y'all in terms of either the email option within it or just the copy a link. I don't have a strong preference here.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
So this will be a per user link that is unique to them and tracks signups. That's more of a dev note there, Steph, just that whatever that link is needs to be a bit of a magic link. So it shouldn't be, well, anyway, we can talk about that. We might make it so that you can prettify it, but the problem with that is then once you set it, you can't edit that because they're out in the world, right?
Yeah, you
So
can't change it then.
do we want to let them make it Working Without Borders, or do we can auto generate one based on their business name and then not let them change it, but it's generated at the time of their account creation. So like if they decide to edit their business name at a later time, this link stays the same because it becomes a code basically. Anyway, technical details we can spend hours debating later, but I think that's really good. Thank you for confirming. We want it to be that prominent. So we'll let Steph do her magic. Current request is, can we make it fit up there? Yes, no. But Ari thinks it should be at least that prominent. So
Okay.
awesome. Well, I think we covered a lot actually, which is great. I think we spent most of our time kind of talking about the public showcase and stuff like that. Steph, I've kind of tagged you in here about the fields that are needed for the sign up flow. And the thing that we didn't get to today, I need to hide these loading meeting controls, is the plans. So are you finalized, Ari, on what the plans are going to be so we can start to populate this content for you?
Yes, it's individual, small, medium, large.
Yay!
4.
Excellent.
There's 4 then.
4 plans.
Oh,
Plans. Excellent. Individual, small, medium, large. And just remind me, there will be a number of users option, right? So actually the add-ons, so we have this thing, an add-on thing. I think that might be where we put that for you, is like how many extra employees do you want? Because that'll be one of our add-on stuff, is like extra users. So I think that's probably what we'll do, is put it down in that section.
I think as long as I think we'll want to be clear about that it's additional user logins. Okay, cool.
So actually what I'll do, let me just put this into chat for you. Well, actually I'll link it from here. Can you review this, Ari?
Yeah.
And just, can you come back to us with content to fill in this mock-up for you guys?
That'd be fantastic. I love content that doesn't change.
So I'm just going to give you that task, Ari, in here. Ari, can you review this mock-up and document the content for this design for the TTC plans? Does that make sense what I'm asking for when I say that? Like basically, I like these, you told me those four, but like, so it wouldn't say current plan because they won't, well, actually they could be, so they could be upgrading. So, you know, they could be moving from one plan to another. And then, you know, what would your descriptions be? What pricing do you want to show here? Do you want to have a little tagline underneath? You won't have a call us, so all of them will just be a price, right? So just kind of go through there and just say, yes, this should be this should be this, don't need this, keep this, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Brilliant. And then we have like a comparison of plans. I don't know if you need that or whether or not
No, I
it's
don't
clear
think we
enough.
do.
Yeah, I think you
I think
probably
we'll
just
keep it simple.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, so shall we book in our next call?
Yeah, let's do it.
How long until you think you might get some feedback?
I think let's aim for the 2-week mark. Like I think we're trying to meet every 2 weeks. So let's aim for that. And then let's just keep talking until then.
And you're back in the US next time, right?
Yeah, I am. Yes.
No problem. Let's see, we'll just switch from our nighttime to our morning. So not next week, but the week after. So you'll be back on East Coast time. Let's see. So our Tuesday morning will be your Monday evening. So Steph, how early can you do it?
Wait, what day is that? That's the night. That would be
Tuesday
our
the
18th.
18th. If we do an 8 a.m., I think that is 4 p.m. New York time, East Coast time. Does that work?
Okay. I'm not a morning person, Ari, but I will do my best.
I'm not either, realistically.
Can you do 5, Ari, or is that too late for you on that Monday the 17th?
What, 5 to 6?
5 to 6, yeah.
I think I can. So here's the fun part. My calendar is currently showing up in GMT time. But I think, let's see, 5 to 6. So that would be 10 to 11 on my current calendar. Yes.
Oh, wait. There's a time converter thingy website that I use with Vika all the time when we were trying to like figure out when to talk.
Oh yeah. I think that's the one I've been using to figure out. That's the one I used to figure out Australia time.
Yeah.
When I was like, wait, you guys are in Australia. Wait a minute. This is okay.
All right, well, I'm just going to send you this invite and then it'll pop into your calendar and then it'll show you and hopefully, and you can let us know.
Okay.
But that should be 5 p.m. your time. Yeah.
Yeah, that does work.
Great.
5 to 6.
Yeah. All right. That invite is sent. And so Steph will be working on some designs. So we should have some things to show you by the next conversation. And so we can review those, but I really do want to make sure we talk about badges and filters. So if we can lock down the taxonomy on the next call.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I need to I'll just, no, I'm going to wait until later today because I think I get more responses when I post a little later in the day. But I'll do the next one now. And I might even repeat.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's really the number one rule of marketing. Say it again, say it again, say it again.
Did you say it 10 times? Say it 3 more.
Actually, on that point, for marketing purposes, what is the mock-up or what is the sort of design that that you would love us to finish first so that we could potentially, you could start using as teaser content? Is it the public profile? Is it the working on the badges? Is it
The
more
thing people are
filtering?
most excited about is connecting with each other. So I think it's actually the mock-up we just looked at, which is the view of them being able to filter and find each other. I
Okay,
think it's
so
that
then
view.
for that, we need that taxonomy
Maybe
solidified.
that's
Because that was what I found when I teased with that, they got like really technical. They're like, well, wait, what exactly can I do? I was like, it's a mock-up, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Everyone
okay.
always does. And I like, no matter how many times I'm like, you guys, it's a mock-up. They're like, okay, yeah, no, totally get it. So this thing over here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
So no stress on that until we can solidify the taxonomy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as soon as I have that solidified for you, I'll send it your way. Regardless
Brilliant.
of when our next meeting is.
Well, good. As always, excellent progress. Good to see you, Ari. Happy New Year.
Good to see you.
Nice
Happy
to
New
meet
Year.
you.
Nice
Happy
to
New
meet
Year.
you too. Take
All
care,
right.
ladies. I'll see you
See you
later.
in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.